I want to welcome you all back into this hall, Your Eminence, Your Excellencies, the ambassadors, my Lord Archbishops and Bishops. We welcome you all heartily this morning to this final and concluding day of our celebration of the 50th anniversary of Pope John the 23rd encyclical letter Pacem in Terris. And we decided to title or to celebrate today under the title Peace and the New Challenges to Peace. So celebrating the new challenges to peace, we want to conclude a 3-day celebration organized by this council to mark this 50th anniversary of Pope John's Pacem in Terris. So throughout this day then, the Pontifical Council would like to explore new frontiers of war and peace. And a good place to start is certainly within the heart of each human person, each one of us. This is how the Holy Father addressed everyone's conscience during the vigil for peace last month, the 7th of September. He said, "Even today, we let ourselves be guided by idols, by selfishness, by our own interests, and this attitude persists. We've perfected our weapons. Our conscience has fallen asleep, and we have sharpened our ideas to justify ourselves. As if it were normal, we continue to sow destruction, pain, and death." With an awakened spirit, then, we hope today to shed the light of relevant theory on real-life situations and practices, and to let good practices reflect back into more enlightened theory. Linking doctrine with action follows the methodology proper to the social doctrine of the Church. It's not just theory, it's also action. A program in which theory, doxa if you want, virtue and praxis interact most fruitfully. The program then today is in 2 parts. In the morning, we shall examine 3 current areas of concern and challenge, and in the afternoon, 3 new phases of potential or real conflict. This morning includes 3 roundtable sessions or panel sessions. Each begins with a general introduction by the moderator, followed by 2 case studies and a final debate. The first topic introduced interreligious dialogue as fundamental for collaboration in the fruitful construction of peace. Sadly, the topic must include the persecution of Christians in the world. For currently, it is Christians who are most frequently persecuted because of their faith. The moderator for this session then, this first session, would be His Eminence, Cardinal Jean-Louis Torrent. Your Eminence, welcome. We're glad to have you in our midst. He is, as you know, the President of the Pontifical Council for Interreligious Dialogue. The second topic is the current economic crisis. It is rooted in a deeper moral and cultural crisis, and new ideologies such as the maximization of very short-term profit hold ever more sway. This leads to a dangerous dismantling of the real economy. As a result, stark inequalities emerge to endanger democracy itself. The Pontifical Council for Justice and Peace has long been urging a renewal of the hierarchy of values on which basis to reform the international financial institutions. Let us put finance and the economy back at the service of the human family and at the service of the common good. Sister Cécile Renoir, Director of the Institute for Research and Education on Negotiation of the ESSEC Business School, will introduce that topic. The third panel will focus on the mass media with respect to peace building. It is entitled Education Emergency, or sometimes people call it the crisis of education. And it will be to highlight the media's contribution to the prevailing individualistic and hedonistic attitudes. And in response, education in the good life is particularly urgent in order to promote new forms of conviviality and indeed communion. They alone offer a solid basis for promoting peace and integral development. His Excellency Archbishop Claudio Maria Celli, President of the Pontifical Council for Social Communications, will introduce that topic. In the afternoon, after lunch, hopefully we have a good lunch to sustain us. In the afternoon session will be chaired by Dr. Flaminia Giovanelli, the Undersecretary of our Council, and they will follow the same format. Each topic has its place in social ethics, and it depends on the ethics of life and contributes to the ethics of peace. Shortages of water, food, land, and energy will be seen in the first panel as contributing to very many conflicts around the world. By contrast, equitable and sustainable access to such basic resources corresponds to their nature as collective good subject to stewardship rather than primarily private ownership. Dr. Aymeric Choprat, an expert in geopolitics from France, will introduce that panel. The second topic this afternoon will be about biological sciences, and it will reflect ethically on some contemporary research techniques as applied to the human life. Their promise to continue the remarkable medical progress humankind has enjoyed over the past century or more can sometimes obscure the threat they pose to human dignity. A not too futuristic example would be the introduction, for example, of microchips in the bodies of people to monitor. This delicate problem would be introduced by Reverend Professor Bruno Sainteau, Jesuit from the Centre Sévère in Paris. And the last panel discussion explicitly recognizes a theme running through the whole day, namely that both long-standing and newly emergent threats can undermine peace in our world. The discussion of confidence-building measures towards greater security and peace will include the arms trade, both legal and illegal, as well as the use of drones, which is generating new ethical and legal problems. And for that, General Pier Paolo Tempesta of the Permanent Mission of the Holy See to the Organization for Security and Cooperation in Europe in Vienna will introduce that topic. The day will conclude, as we've always done in these past 2 days, with the Holy Mass, at which we utter or celebrate our biggest gratitude and thanksgiving to God, and that would be at 6:30, and during which we will echo the prayer of Pope Francis, may the noise of weapons cease, and may war, which always marks the failure of peace, yield increasingly to good conscience and human well-being. And it is our prayer this evening, it will be our prayer this evening, that reconciliation and peace, the two pillars for human coexistence and will continue to flourish in our land. So with these words then, I wish to welcome you to our work today and wish everybody bon lavoro, bon courage. Nous sommes presque à la fin et nous devons percevoir. So thank you all.